Was the dream of social justice a good one? Hey, it's Prince of Queens, and I was wondering how many fourth wave intersectional feminist social justice types are starting to wake up, wipe the crud out of their eyes, and realize that we are living in the real world, and people don't actually have to play by their rules anymore. Yeah, it turns out that the last 5 years or so was all a dream, and now you have to move on. But I want each and every one of you to ask yourself a question. Was that even a nice dream? Was it nice, feminists, to think that you could verbally abuse every man you ever came into contact with on social media, calling him every name you could think of, including mocking him for his gender by calling him a man baby and a dude bro, and then if he said you were being sexist, you could just go ahead and insult him for his intelligence for actually believing that misandry might possibly exist? No, despite the fact that you were very clearly exhibiting sexism against men very regularly during this dream of social justice warrior heaven, you still could simultaneously think that misandry wasn't a thing, and therefore your venomous behavior had no negative consequences. You can hit boys and they can't hit you back, after all, and you even thought that this double standard applied to insults on the internet. I bet that that was a fun dream sometimes, wasn't it? Black social justice warriors. Was it nice to bring up racism constantly in basically every conversation you ever got into on the internet? And when a white person disagreed with you about cultural appropriation, for example, you could tell them to shut the hell up because your lived experiences as a black person means that when talking about race, you are always right, and white people are always wrong. Next, when an Asian person disagreed with you, you could tell them that racism in the USA exists on a spectrum, in which the further you are away from being black, the more privileged you are, and therefore you always knew more than the Asian person about everything too, because you are black, and black people know everything. Then, when another black person disagreed with you, you could say that he was wrong too, because he had lighter skin. That must have been a great dream for you. Huh. Was it nice? Pansexual, non-binary, queer femme women of the world. The woman who looks like a woman and yet claims not to be a woman, and then gets mad at somebody if they refer to her as a she. Was it nice to walk around the world trying to control people's language? Was it nice to believe that you can get bent out of shape if somebody calls you a she, even though you've been called she your entire life and never had a problem with it, and you haven't made an effort to look like anything but a she? I bet it was good for a laugh a few times when you got mad at people who you'd known for years for not referring to you with a singular they. Huh. It must have been super fun to get pissed off at your friends for not changing the English language to cater to your gender trendiness and call you a they, even though they had always known you as a she and you never had a problem with it. I bet it was fun to get mad at your friends. Barrel full of monkeys. Huh. Was it nice, supporters of Black Lives Matter, to believe that you could get mad at everybody who ever said that all lives matter? I mean, of course all lives matter. We all know that, after all, just so long as you don't actually say that all lives matter, because if anybody ever actually said that all lives matter, that meant, in this dream, that you could just read their mind. And what they really meant was that black lives don't really matter, because in this dream, you were a mind reader. And when you read people's minds, it always turned out that they were racist. In this dream, it was impossible for women to discriminate against men, or at least it didn't matter when they did. In this dream, black people always knew everything about racism, depending on how dark their skin color was. In this dream, people with imaginary gender identities could control how everybody speaks. And in this dream, anybody who says that all lives matter, well, they were a racist. Was this really a good dream? You know what? I think maybe it might have been fun for a few moments for a few people, but overall, I'm pretty sure it was a fucking nightmare. And that's why, like all nightmares, we had to wake up from it very suddenly. And thank the cosmos, we did. Drop me a comment, help me out on Patreon so I can keep making videos, and stay tuned.